Martial arts school owners, you've probably seen us a fair bit talking about speed to lead, the importance of following up with leads, the importance of frequency of contact, contacting them twice a day, 7 days a week, having your front desk call the leads right away. Or you've heard about our black belt sales team who call the leads within 5 minutes, 7 days a week on behalf of your school to schedule then confirm to get them to show up. That's why we get such killer results, right? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a bit of behind the scenes about what our team dynamic is, how it works, and showing you in action the systems that we have in place to make sure that we're staying on top and delivering exceptional results for our clients, which is why we have over close to 50 plus 5-star reviews now, as well as how we deliver such excellent results of 20 plus people per month. Okay. So every week, every day, actually, we have a team meeting before the day starts. We sit down as a black belt sales team. We do call reviews. We go through scripting, tonality, pretty much training a sales team. Okay. So we have our black belt sales team manager, Maxine, as well as myself. I like to hop in as the owner and also do some call reviews as well from time to time. Okay. What I'm going to be showing you today is a bit of behind the scenes about what that actually looks like. So you probably heard a lot about our black belt sales team and how it operates, but I want to really show you behind the curtains about what it actually looks like as a team. And hopefully you can take some key points to apply to yourself calling the leads, the importance of following up quickly, following up consistently. Okay, all the good stuff that we often talk about here on this channel. Or if you have a front desk team, or if you're looking to bring on an agency such as Xeron Marketing, what we do is we run our member profit funnel. We generate leads through the like, know, and trust factor. We then have our black belt sales team call your leads. So we're following up within the first 5 to 10 minutes. We're then calling 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have automated text messages as well as manual text, emails. We also have a confirmation system 24 hours before, 5 hours before, 3 hours before, calling up to confirm these appointments. And that's how we guarantee showed people into your classes, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to do a bit of a behind the scenes review on what our black belt sales team does, okay? So let's get into it.
Okay, so great work here on the call summary. Leaders beginning was interested to come in because he saw the free trial and looking to train for long term. I think if I'm being super critical, I understand that this is really good notes. Could probably add in a couple extra notes of like why the lead wanted to train a bit more longer term. It's always good for your thing from the owner's perspective. They want as much information as possible. Now I know that they obviously get that information anyway through the AI call summaries, through the chat.
So this is one of the things that we do here at Xeron Marketing is we get all of our black belt sales team members, our agents, to write in notes about the conversation of what happened on the call. Okay, so you can see here that our team, the Beth in this example, one of our black belt sales team members, wrote in this note of lead as a beginner, was interested to come in because saw the free trial and looking to train for a long term. So look, great notes for a martial arts school owner before the class. They're aware that this person's, wanting to train long term. They've got some interest in it. But myself, I have high standards for the way that our black belt sales team operates. And I'm going to call the team out on things that I don't think are up to the standards that I would like to withhold if I had a gym, okay, if I had someone coming in. So yes, this is great information, but you can see here I'm being super critical with the team going, look, we need to provide more information than this. The same way that if you had coaches, you as the owner, you have a certain standard that you want those coaches to uphold, okay? When people come into the class, it's your job to deliver an exceptional service, okay?
And call conversations. But it's always good just to add in like just a bit of extra detail, but that's again maybe super critical there, but really good there. So we can see that they actually came in on the first call is when we booked them in. So good job with the speed to lead there.
So you can see that the lead came in right away and we called the lead up on the first point of contact, which is the highest likelihood of them then converting into a trial class booking, and we booked them in, okay? You can see here with our automated text reminders as well, they're scheduled in for 48 hours after the lead came in, so that booking window is so important as well. We've got the address, we've got all set for class, we've got an email with breaking down the key information, they can add the Google Calendar link in there, okay? So this is all stuff that you can take away yourself as a martial arts school owner and implement yourself. You don't need an agency to do these types of things. Now, obviously, this is the system that we have in place for all our clients, and we make custom requests based on what certain clients need. Some clients like to have waivers forms filled in before the lead comes into class. So we add in certain requirements like that beforehand. But you can see the whole kind of system there, right?
There as well, generally speaking. So it's always a good little thing here to come in. If you guys are ever interested, you can check it, like how many times we called them here in the call center pipeline stage. So you really see the importance of the speed to lead here. The first call we got them booked in, 2 minute 32 conversations. So it's pretty solid. Let's have a little look here. Any additional context here, Betty, before we kind of get into it that you potentially want to share?
Maybe I would say I wasn't giving much rapport, I think.
So myself as the owner, one thing that I always like to press on and hold our team to such high standards is like, Okay, this is arguably, a pretty good call, right? But what can you do better? Okay, there's always room for improvement. The same way that even if you're a, fifth dan black belt martial artist, there's always room for improvement. So, our black belt sales team, like, yes, they do an excellent job. That's why we get such insane results. But I always got to be pushing them as the leader within Azuron Marketing to make sure that they're always going for the highest standard possible. So you can see there's going to be times here where I'm super critical on our team. Okay. And that's only because I want the best out of everyone, which is going to get the best for our clients, which is going to get the best for you guys as martial arts school owners watching this, the best fucking possible results.
This is like the better one.
Yeah, nice. Let's have a look.
Okay.
You guys can hear that okay? Beautiful.
So I will say it's definitely a bit going on this call recording here of the screen of the Zoom. It's definitely the quality of the sound isn't as good as what it actually was on the meeting here.
This is Heidi from Ingo Jiu-Jitsu. That is the martial arts class you're doing online.
Yeah, I want to lay it down.
I'm doing great.
So always going to get leads that sound like they're half asleep. You can't even hear what they're saying, but really good frame there, Betty. So establishing, who you are, where you're pulling from. So it's very clear.
I'm Stephanie here, and I see that you joined in person or one-time free job class on our Facebook or Instagram, and we'll just give you a call to check in on when you'd like to come in.
Can I do Thursday?
Thursday. Okay, do you mind asking which part of the class for the kids or for the adult program?
Nice, good job clarifying that. And that's a big thing as well here, guys. I know it's like a very simple question, like kids or adults, but it avoids any potential miscommunication, even if it's like quite clear that the person is inquiring for an adult or a kid, even if they came from an adult or a kid. It's so important that we're asking that question to make sure we're booking them into the correct classes.
Good point there, Sam.
Beautiful. Great question, though.
I'm not.
The classes are designed for beginners. This is all about fundamental techniques and everything. So we do have a gi and a no gi classes. That is the gi being the uniform. Which class would you like to come in?
I would say no heat.
The no gi.
So this particular client here is a jiu-jitsu martial arts school that we're working with, like a jiu-jitsu gym. So obviously for this particular instance, we're asking, do you want to do a gi or a no gi class? Okay. So even these finer details really add up because oftentimes a lot of these people are beginners and they don't even know what a gi or a no gi is, right? But oftentimes if they're not beginners, you may find that they know what a gi or a no gi is. And obviously there's quite a bit of a difference between a gi class, wearing the uniform, versus a no gi class, right?
Great work there as well. Asking really specific questions, which is excellent.
Wonderful. So that Thursday this week or this week?
Yeah, this week.
Perfect as well. We always want to make sure that we're booking the appointment, so we're booking the trial class as close to the day as possible. So if this was on yesterday, this call took place. We always want to be booking for same day, tomorrow, or the day after. But ideally within a 3-day time span is always the goal. So obviously you guys are aware of this, I'm saying the obvious, but always look to book in for the closest available time because the likelihood of that lead then showing up is exponentially higher, okay?
So that's a really important point for yourself watching this, right? You don't want to be booking people in 2-3 weeks in advance, okay? Always book for the nearest available time slot, okay? So we often push to try to go for the same day, tomorrow, or the day after, okay? Within that 3-day time span. Now, obviously, there's going to be a lot of leads that, you're going to have a bit of pushback on that. They've got XYZ commitment, okay? But oftentimes, if not, we always book as close to the time of the call as possible. And naturally, a lot of clients that we work with don't have a huge availability. So some gyms we work with only have 1, 2, 3 classes a week. Others have 15, 20 a day, right? So I was about to say 50 a day, but maybe 50 a week. So again, it's all dependent on the availability. A general note as well, the more availability that you do have on your calendar to book in for a trial class, the better, okay? Hands down.
Perfect, okay? 2-option close there, okay? So close it's like you want to give 2 options for them to choose from. It's not like, hey, when would you like to come in? That's too much of an open-ended question, right? It's like, hey, we've got a class at 6 p.m. or 12 p.m. Which one works better for you? Okay? You guys understand the difference between kind of like asking, I know you're aware of all this stuff, guys, so I'm going to repeat the obvious here, but just reaffirming that you understand the difference between like presenting 2 viable options.
So it's really important for me here as a leader as well within our marketing agency, 7 martial art gyms, that I'm very specific with what I'm asking for, okay? I know that they know all of this stuff, okay? This is the basic stuff that we go over every day. There's extensive training. Okay, we have hundreds of applicants applying for our black belt sales team role, and we only pick a handful. Right now we have about 10 to 12 people on the team, and I know they're aware of this stuff. They've got experience with it, but it's so important that we're drilling in the basics because the basics are the needle movers that allow for rapport. The basics such as tone, building rapport, asking the right questions. It's pretty simple at the end of the day. Just like running ads is pretty simple. Just like following up is pretty simple. Calling your leads within 5-10 minutes, pretty simple. Getting them to show up for the class because you have the right systems in place, pretty simple. Simple scales. The issue is people lack the consistency around the simplicity, okay? And especially at high volumes, we have accounts that are getting, we're working with martial art gyms that have hundreds of leads a week, Okay. It's not possible for the gym owner physically to even contact that many leads. That's where they get the black belt sales team involved. Okay. That's where we are following up 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is the power of having this done for you on autopilot.
So it kind of narrows, it makes the decision making of that Scott here a lot easier versus going, hey, like, you know, you want to come in, you know, whenever you're free, right? It's like lead them to the water, right? Lead them to the water to drink. It's like a bit of an analogy. How do you think so far, minute 30 in your going, Betty? Justin, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Stan, you as the owner or somebody that speaks with the owner, if we could actually try at least, try to find a better schedule for the adults calendar, because as you know, many adults work during the day, and sometimes most of the schedules will be for most of the team between 3 p.m. classes, 2 p.m., and you know, an adult working and having a regular job will not be able to do those times. So I don't know if we could pitch in a time frame for like really early in the morning for most of the team, and really in the evening time, because we lose many leads because of it, because people are not
I just realized that the speed here was also going pretty quick.
available, or they wouldn't have a schedule on the weekends. And it's something that I personally have saw and keep an eye on. And yeah, that it will be one of the primary reasons why many leagues we cannot book them in. I personally cannot book them in because the schedule does not work for them. Yeah, I always try to base them like, this is the time that we have available right now. The gym's calendar is always subject to change. Once you come in, you just come in for the first time, and then you can speak with the gym's owner, and they will find you a better spot. But sometimes they don't go for that at all.
So oftentimes as well, there's a lot of things that as a black belt sales team, we can't answer on behalf of the gym owner. At the end of the day, we're never going to be as good as someone as the gym owner. The gym owner knows all the questions. Okay. That's where a lot of the black belt sales team questions are logistical based, interest based. Okay. But when it comes to the finer things such as scheduling in terms of like, can we open more schedules? Of course, we're not going to be able to answer that, right? So that's where we always, encourage and probe the team, anybody on the team, whether that's people that help with the ads, the creatives, whether it's the one-on-one dedicated success managers, the strategists, the black belt sales team members, whoever it is on our team, we always get them to come forward with solutions, not problems.
Yeah. So it's always going to be a natural constraint of any martial arts school is like availability. So
I'm just going to speed this up here.
Obviously some martial arts schools that we work with have, 100 plus classes a month, right? Or a week even, like some really big ones. Others have only got 1, 2, 3 classes. So it's always going to pose a natural limitation on that and scheduling. And I'm also aware that there's a number of times where, you may have kids' classes scheduled at 3 p.m., but the kids don't finish school till 3 p.m. By the time they get there, it's too late, right? It's just one of those things that we can always present to the owner, and we're always trying to push forward to the martial art gym, going, hey, the more availability you have, the better, right? You're substantiating the point there. But at the end of the day, we always just got to go off what the availability is on the calendar at the time. So you just got to try your best to kind of find a middle ground, find a day that works, have all of the days open. Just go, if they're like, I'm not free for XYZ day, then just like always just go through each of the days until you've really like gone through all of it. And I think if that is the main objection, of course, write it in the agent call summary that the main objection was scheduling, that you went through Monday through to Sunday, all the available days, and there was literally no day available due to XYZ reason.
And I always try to pitch it as this is the schedule as of the moment, but it could change. They just come into the first time, and they most of the time will agree to it and decide to come actually, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the best way to handle that there. Otherwise, yeah, it's a bit difficult. I understand there is always going to be a natural limitation, and you are playing with people's schedule. They've got work, they've got families. So we've just got to do the best that we can with the resources that we have, right? So, but to answer your question, the classes are fixed times. So whatever on the schedule is what's available. But if we're noticing like repeat times for like certain gyms, definitely raise this with Maxine so that she can have a discussion with the account managers, Bradley and Rob, and the rest of the team. And then we can kind of potentially open the idea up to the different clients and different gym owners going.
So one thing that we do every day as a team is we obviously have our different department meetings. So we have our black belt sales team meeting. We have our meta ads specialist team meeting. We have our client manager team meeting. So we have our individual team meetings. We have our lead strategist team meeting. We have our operations and tech team meeting. So we got about 5, 6, 7 different department meetings that we have individually. It's also important that 2 to 3 times a week as well, we come together as a team. Okay. So each team operates a certain amount of martial art clients, and we make sure that there is, one-on-one support with the account manager. So every single client that comes on board for us has a dedicated account manager that they have a meeting with once every fortnight, once every week. And we do an onboarding call, launch call, like lots of calls, right? 24/7 access to WhatsApp. So there's always support and communication there. And that's something we really value. Okay. Having been in different agency programs before, having worked with different third parties, I understand the importance as an owner of like what it means to really connect with the client. And the last thing we ever want is for someone to feel a bit out the loop. So kind of drawing back to the point of what I'm trying to make here is that we always come together as a team and present what are the potential kinks that need ironing out, and how can, from the individual different departments, can we come together for a team solution.
Hey, we are really experiencing like a lack of availability at the moment. Like, is there something we can potentially add an extra class in, right? Because I'm sure most gym owners wouldn't necessarily say no if it is a possibility. So yeah, that's a good piece of feedback there. All right, let's quickly get through the rest of this.
6 p.m.
Yeah, okay, great, wonderful. Now, also, like, what got you interested into looking into martial arts?
So obviously this is a bit sped up at the moment.
I mean, I was always interested in it. I just saw that one for the free one, so I'm like, hey, let me just see.
So I think this is really good. Obviously asking some really good open-ended rapport building questions. If I'm being, again, super critical here, I would have pushed further into that. So the lead said, Scott said, I've always been interested. You could have said, what was it that you've always been interested in particular, right? Like really narrowing down on what the specifics are. Now, again, like there is obviously a high level of interest from this lead. They've submitted their information. They've wanted to book in. They're going to show up. So that's great. But again, just having these like extra bit of details do make a big difference there. Excellent question. Nice work.
What is that part of our routine?
So you are all staff, you out, or you need to reschedule, or if you have any questions, you can shoot us a text message or call us with this number so we can get you rescheduled, and at the same time, you're with this time as well.
Okay, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much, Scott. Have a good one.
You too.
So the audio is stuffing up a bit there, but
Goodbye.
Right.
that's just a Zoom recording issue that we have here with my microphone attached. But hopefully you could hear that bit there.
So you can see here, I'm just adding a bit more detail there. So obviously in retrospect, it's a lot easier when I'm reviewing this call. You know, we're not back to back on calls. We're not making sure we're hitting that speech lead. So I completely understand that. Again, I'm being super critical, right, for a reason. But I think really this kind of like sums up the note really well. Like it makes a really good detail. So it's like lead as a beginner, was interested to come in because he saw the free trial, always wanted to try out in the past, was prompted by the ad to take the step or like to take the leap to like sign, looking to trade long term and make it part of his routine. But overall, really good call here, right? So solid rapport building, great questions asked. Obviously got the appointment booked in for close. So this was on the Monday or Tuesday, sorry, yesterday. It's currently Wednesday, right? So Tuesday, so you book in within 48 hours or so. So excellent work, great speech lead. You can obviously see then, you know, they're getting.
So you can see here another key point, adding the Google Calendar in the message as well as a pre-class video. Okay, so we get all clients to film this.
The information, they've opened up their email, you know, then we've got the text messages coming through there to nurture that person come through. So really good call there. Happy with that. Nice work. What was your feedback on that, do you think, Betty? What were you happy with? What do you think could have been better?
I'm happy that I've started asking more qualifying questions, because most of the time I don't ask them because I don't know what to say after that. Like I want to really connect with them. But one reason that I wasn't able to say more was I couldn't hear the lead clearly. So I didn't want him to repeat what he said. So I said, thank you for sharing that. I kind of heard what he said, but I just didn't hear everything. That is the only thing I would have fixed.
Yeah, definitely. And it's always hard when you're speaking with leads on the phone. Like you forget that these are just everyday people that we're calling up, right? It's not like they don't have microphones on like we do, and you know they're not articulate all the time. So you got to try your best to understand that. Now I do got to.
So you can see here the overall process of kind of like how we dissect a call. To be completely transparent here, it's probably a pretty average call in all honesty. Now it's important as a leader, right, that I'm calling people out, but I'm also providing a level of feedback on that there. So So I thought I'd just film this quick video here to kind of show you a bit of behind the scenes on how the black belt sales team works. We often get quite a lot of questions around like, you know, how does the member magnet system work at Azeron? Well, it's pretty simple at the end of the day. We generate qualified leads using the member profit funnel. So we build the like, know, and trust factor. So we run scripted video ads of clients. We run a variety of different ads, to be honest. There's no one size fits all when it comes to marketing, but we do have a predictable and on-demand system, and that's why we generate consistent results for our clients. So we then get our black belt sales team to call the leads, like I said, right away. We're following up 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. We have automated text messages, AI bots, as well as a team of people, as you can see here, calling the leads, texting the leads, emailing the leads. And that's how we get our clients 60 to 100 plus new members. Okay. And it's all done for you on autopilot. So if you are interested, click learn more below or comment below on this video, and we can send a bit of a resource over or potentially show you how this would look in your business. And you can see this works, right? Like it worked for Jeff here. He added 70 plus members in the first 90 days working together. Josh here from Impact Martial Arts, first 3 weeks, 22 members, highest ever month in terms of revenue. Working with us, and you can have a look at us online. We have 50 plus Google reviews. Okay. All 5-star. So take a look. You can kind of see some of the results there. Again, click learn more below if you're interested in plugging this system into your business. We'll see if we don't work it with a competitor in your area. We only work with one martial arts school per location. Okay. But nonetheless, I hope you gain some value out of this video and you can implement some of the things yourself.